Hey y'all, welcome to Lab Series 14 for our biotechnology class. It's a big day, it's Friday. Our football team is playing the last game of the regular season, hoping to remain undefeated for the first time in forever. 1992 maybe, something like that. So go Canes. But today is not really a lab. It's kind of a skill leading up to a lab we'll do next week. And we got to label some Petri dishes because we're going to grow some bacteria for the first time next week. So let's get started. All right, so for this, all we need is our Petri dish and a Sharpie. So we are going to go ahead and label this, get ready to go before we pour it. The next video will be us actually pouring the plate, that process. So there's two pieces to the Petri dish. You got the bottom of the dish and you got the lid. Now, our instinct tells us that we want to label the lid because that's just how things are done in most of our life. But we're not going to do that because lids can get taken, they can get lost, they can get swapped. A lot of things can happen. But if we pour the agar into the dish and we label the dish, then we know it will stay with that. All right. Also, if we're trying to look through the lid at what we have growing, we don't want it to be blocked up by a bunch of writing. So we're going to label the dish and specifically the bottom. The reason we're going to label the bottom is because when we incubate these, so we have to put them in an incubator, we're going to put them in upside down. We are not going to put them in with the lid up. We're going to put them in upside down. So then we need this label showing so we can see what it is. And we put them in upside down because condensation will form in here. So if we put them in with the lid on top, then the condensation will form on the lid and drop down onto our bacteria culture, and that's just not good. So we're going to put them in upside down where the agar will be at the top. So any condensation that forms is actually going to drip down onto the lid where nothing is being cultured. And that will keep our culture inside the dish nice and pure. So let's jump into the labeling. There's a couple pieces to the label that we need. All right, first we're going to put our initials on the label. And I'll just use some generic initials, A, B, C. Then we're going to identify the type of agar that we're going to use. And there's several different agars, but we are going to use LB agar. So this is going to be an LB plate. Then there are two more important pieces. So we kind of stop the labeling here, but for this activity, we're going to go ahead and finish it out for the practicing purposes. So once we pour this and when we get ready to culture the bacteria, we're going to put the date that we culture. So we'll put a date. The culture is going on and the identity of what is being cultured. In case we use E. coli HB101 most of the time in class, which is a very safe bacteria that has been proven by scientists greater than me to not cause any sickness or any bad things in typically healthy individuals. So a very safe bacteria to work with. So that's it. This is labeled. This is ready to go. And we will do the E. coli and the date that it is cultured when we inoculate the plates. But for this activity, we go ahead and kind of do it just to get practice, making sure we have all four components on there together so we can hit the ground running. All right, that's it for this episode. See y'all on the next one.